2, 1. Ready.
Just relax and enjoy the ride.
In crowd, 815. In crowd, 815. In crowd, 815. In crowd, 815.
The thing that's got me perplexed today is, why does turning on a light in a room at dusk make the room feel darker than it did before? I'm Greg. He's Tom. And we're the In Crowd 815 podcast for this first day of February, the year 2025, the latest it has ever been
in the history of mankind.
Mm-hmm. I don't get it. You ever notice that?
No, I'm trying to think. I don't know.
When I walk into the kitchen, and when I walk into the kitchen in the morning, the early morning, to let the dog out for the first time of the day, and it's still dusk, it's still a little bit more dark than light outside. And if I turn on the kitchen light, all of a sudden everything seems darker outside.
Did you say when you wake up it'd be dawn, not dusk? Did
I
hear it wrong?
Well, both.
Both. Okay. That's what I figured, because it's really the same difference.
Same in the late afternoon, early evening. It's
yeah. I don't know. I guess.
See if you don't notice that the next time.
I probably will.
You turn the light on and it's not completely dark yet.
Okay, Greg. This is a song that never ends. It goes on and on, my friends. There, now I got your back. You won't forget that song for a while.
We got a great show for you, regardless of our singing talents and the person still sleeping next to you. Maybe give them a nudge and say, hey, Greg and Tom are making some noise. It's time to learn some stuff. And we got a great guest to share with you today. Sarene with Tadmore Tailoring is doing some awesome stuff here, and it affects the entire country and the entire world. And we're going to tell you about that here in just a little bit. Tom's got is that a new bear?
It's not new. It's just new to the mix. We've got to feature a different bear every week.
You know,
still
today.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say today is episode 252 in our podcast series.
Okay.
But it's actually episode 588 of all the shows we've done since starting this in 2013.
And I started it in 2007.
And you started it. Yes.
This of course was my second go around at I was part of the the budget cuts for the first time back in 97, I guess it was. And then 2007, 10 years later, after I'd gone through an accident and a few other things, I decided, at Stephanie's behest, I live around the corner from Stephanie. She goes, you know what? They need help. You should come back to the station. I'm like, really? Would they hire me back? Well, they did, without question, almost instantly. Anyway, I started doing that Saturday morning show within 3 weeks to a month. So 2007 to 2013, when you took over, I was doing
Stan and Shannon, or just Stan?
Stan and Shannon. Then it was Todd and Shannon, and
the late great Stan Bringle.
Yep, absolutely. I love that guy. Yeah. And then Todd and Shannon for I don't know, about 3 years, 4 years, and then you took over. And Todd and Shannon both quit at the same time. Todd went to, and then Shannon just opted out. And she's still with the station on Q98.5. And then you and me, because I was on from the very, very beginning with all of them.
And for, about 7 years. So it was the Saturday morning State Line show.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
About seven.
It was actually the Shopper Show. It was the Shopper Show.
Yeah, that's what we started
with Stan and Shannon. And we did the Shopper Show for probably about a year before Stan was let go, and then Todd took over. The Shopper Show remained for another 6 months or so. Then it became the Todd and Shannon Show. They decided to do away with the Shopper Show because the crosstown rivals were doing their own Shopper Show. And one of the gentlemen that worked over there did the Shopper Show, used to work for us at ROK. He was kind of a big fibber. I love the guy to death, but he was kind of a big fibber. And he would say, oh, yeah, we're going through 100 to 150 gift certificates every week. We'd go through about 40, 45. So we knew he was not lying. Or not.
That's a stretch. Bit
of a stretch. So anyway, they just decided to opt out, and then it became the Todd and Shannon Show, which then morphed into the Saturday morning show with you, me as your producer. Then I was also doing the Dave and Matt Saturday morning sports show, sports line Saturday morning, something like
What's
that,
on Saturday morning?
something like that. And then when Dave left, Matt Nestor and I started doing it. I jumped in. I became the co-host. Then when Matt left, I was the primary, I guess, and then Alex came in as my co-host. So
Alex Gary did that for about a year.
yeah, we did that for a little longer than we did it for almost 3 years,
Oh, yeah.
about two
Yeah.
and a half years.
Little radio history lesson for you, everybody. And yeah, and then of course COVID furloughed us and all the weekend talent, and that's where we are now, back on online only, with which we rebranded to the In Crowd 815 podcast a little over a year ago. We have some business to take care of before we get to our guest, so let's do this first. Where's my video? There it is. Our current race to 10 has me about ready to pounce on the victory here. 8-2. I just need two more. And our big number of the week this week is 150 billion. This week's answer, is it movement or mobile games? Movements or mobile games. 150 billion is the big number. And if you look that up, you might find a story from the last week or so. So yeah, do yourself your Google search. Hey, do a AI enhanced Google search if you wish.
No Google search for me. I just sent it.
All right, there you go. We'll see if Tom can score a point this week and catch up to
Yeah, at this point, I just want to get it over with. I mean, I'm 8-2. It's not fair because you get a point every week, no matter what. Well, you don't get a point if I get a point, but
one of us gets a point every week now. Yeah, when it was the Joanne and Tom contest, there were weeks that you
know what we should change it up a little bit. Every other week, I give the question and you have to. Yeah, there we go.
We could do that, but then you'd have to have graphics.
Well, you can take care of the graph. Well, yeah.
Yeah, you could give it to me. You could give it to me the morning of the show, and I could put the graphics up. That'd be fine.
All right.
You tell me if you want to do it. We'll do that. Our guest this week is got this awesome business in Rockford, and I'm putting this up, Sarene, because I think this is a great jumping point to our conversation today. Back in 2021, Sarene posted this on her Facebook page as her banner picture. Her 2021 goals: save the earth with alterations. Number 2, transform the fashion industry. And number 3, adopt more innovative and sustainable business practices. And I got a feeling that she's not only met these goals, she's knocked them out of the park in ways that she never even imagined before. Sarene, welcome to the In Crowd 815 podcast again.
Hi. Oh my gosh, that was such a trip down history lane. I totally forgot that I had put that up.
I love that graphic because, it was after that day, probably. What year did you do your TED Talk?
I did it in 2023.
2023. So 2 years after you posted this, you had done so much toward your goals that somebody said you need to do a TED Talk about this, and you got on the TED stage.
I did. It wasn't easy, but I did it. So I guess
we should ask you about that a little bit and tell some people, because I think it's fun. I think everyone has a quote unquote TED Talk in them in some way, shape, or form. So maybe we can touch on that and ask you how you got that opportunity to do that. But before we get into all that, tell us, everyone, about yourself. Who is Sarene Alsharif? Where are you from? Where'd you grow up and go to school? That kind of stuff. We'd love to hear about it.
Oh, wow. Yeah. It's a long story. I'm originally from Bel Air, Maryland, and I lived in the U.S. for the first 13 years of my life. And then I moved to Syria, where I lived for 10 years and learned Arabic, and they're really sustainable there. Like, there are things that they do in their everyday life that you just learn. And it really, impressed me now that I'm on my own sustainability journey. Like, oh, no, we used to do that back in Syria. So,
is that by design, or is that just kind of a cultural thing? How would you describe the sustainability in Syria? I'm curious.
So they do things like they repair. Like, they don't they will keep repairing something until it like there's nothing left to do with it. Whereas one of the, I want to call them culture shocks when I moved back to the States was the default is, oh, there's something wrong with it. Let's throw it away and buy something new.
That's right.
So,
I think the United States was like that until about World War I or II, and then we got the Industrial Revolution that told everyone you got to consume, and throw stuff away when it's mildly abused.
Or it's going to be more to fix. It's going to cost you more to fix it than it will to just buy a new one.
Yeah.
Which may be true, but it may be by design as well.
Yeah.
What goes around comes around. So it'll come back again. So that's really interesting. 10 years in Syria, and your formative years, your teenage years.
Yep.
Right.
And then I moved back to the US. I went to college at Mizzou, where I got my bachelor's degree and master's degree. I lived in California for a very short year and a half. And then I moved to Rockford, and I've been in Rockford for 13 years now. So
Awesome.
Amazingly, Rockford is the place that I have lived longest in my life.
That's
Awesome.
funny.
Awesome.
A year and a half in California. What an indictment it is of California. I'm just kidding. I've been in California a few times, 3 or 4 times. I actually love it because when I went out there on vacation. You're going to the good parts when you go on vacation. You're not going to the seedier parts. Although we did see some bad parts in Los Angeles, but there's a lot
I
of.
was lucky. I lived by Stanford because my husband was doing his fellowship in Stanford University. So I lived in a really nice place. Like it was like a vacation for a year and a half.
Oh, nice. But
So
very expensive, though.
Yeah.
Very expensive and wasteful too. So.
Anyway. So, but you eventually landed yourself in Rockford, and did you say was your husband from the Midwest originally? What was?
No, that's where he was doing his internship because he's a physician. So
Right.
that's why we moved to Mizzou, and so moved to Rockford. And my husband and I, we were helping the Syrian refugees because we moved at the beginning of the whole Syrian civil war, and we met Mazen, who is now our business partner and lead tailor, who was a tailor from Syria. He had years of extensive experience in sewing, and we asked him like, hey, we need a tailor in Rockford and we want to make this online business because after we did our research about the fast fashion industry and why are people throwing away their clothes and not mending them, it's because a lot of times they don't have access to a good tailor. And that's why we wanted to start the Tadmore Tailoring of the website. And he was like, yeah, let's do it. So, and we started there. Our website, we went through like 3 or 4 different renditions before it went live. The final one that's been working now in April of 2020. And now Tadmore is the #1 website for online alterations in the United States. So it's been a journey, but it's been a lot of fun. And, we continue to grow every year. So yeah, that's kind of in a nutshell.
Did you find, was there anybody else trying to do what you ended up doing as far as having people mail you in their clothes and a photo of themselves or whatever it is that you do to make sure that you can actually get things right with someone's clothing that you didn't even have to see them in person? I don't know that anyone else has done it as well as you have. What did you find when you were in looking into all of that stuff?
Yeah, there were a couple of businesses, one called Altered and another one called Air Tailor. They both tried to do the same thing. They were around for a couple of years until they went out of business. I think what made us unique is that we don't just rely on the online part. We have our storefront in Rockford. So we always have people coming in there, and that helps fuel the business while we can grow the other part. Because, kind of like Amazon, when he started selling books online, people are like, books online? And, people didn't know that that's what they could do. And right now, I feel like Tadmore, we're at that stage where people don't think about, oh, I can easily ship these out and have them altered and brought back. So people just need to learn how, and to learn that that's an easy, convenient possibility, and then it'll pick up more.
It's one of the, I don't know how to put this exactly, but we have, again, our consumer driven economy and culture. we are a people that try to find the path of least resistance, right?
Hmm.
So, what is the path of least resistance when it comes to having your clothes tailored? If you don't have a good tailor in your neighborhood or in your city, or not, if there is one that you don't care for, you don't think they do good
Yeah.
enough work, and you start to find, you look out and who can do this for me easily, it, it doesn't initially sound it would be very easy to box something up and send it away and hope they get it right. But you've somehow removed a lot of the barriers and made it so that people actually want to try this. And once they've tried it, they kind of get hooked to it, don't they?
They do. They do. We have a customer in Texas who has placed over 75 orders with us in the last 3 years. So, like, they once they figure out how easy it is, then people, love doing it because it's not, we do it because we want to reduce waste and we want to save the environment. We also want people to be comfortable and confident in their clothes because there's research behind that. If you look good, you make more money. So that's another thing that I would love to be able to do, now more in the Rockford areas. Let's teach people how to improve the way that they look, improve the way that they dress, and let's make more money. Come on. So,
That's interesting that you say that. I could not agree with you more because it's not just that. It's when you look good, you feel good, and that
yes,
confidence shows. So it's all part, and I absolutely understand that,
yes.
and you are 100% correct on that.
Yes, people don't pay attention to the importance of their clothes, but have you ever put on a pair of pants that are just a little bit too tight and then like all day been grumpy because your stomach hurt or you weren't comfortable or you don't realize those things, but it really makes a difference. Can you move comfortably? Can you breathe? Can you eat? Can you bend down? And all these things throughout the day, it will make such a difference if you're comfortable, like you said, and can move
Oh,
with
yeah.
confidence. And if you know in the morning you look good, you just come with a different energy and
That
different
is
radiance
so
about you.
Yes, that is so spot on.
Yeah.
And anyone who knows me knows that I have something about pants. I do not like wearing pants. I wear shorts all the
Okay.
time, unless I'm at a wedding or a funeral or some gathering where I have to wear pants. I even wear shorts to church. My church is very laid back. I don't have to worry about that. But even today I'm wearing shorts, and I'll be wearing shorts all day long. And it's because I feel comfortable in them. I just love
Mm-hmm.
wearing shorts. When I'm wearing pants, you're right. I get like I just don't feel like me. My legs are the movement is restricted, whatever. So I completely. You really struck a chord with me on that one.
I see a picture of your business partner here. Let's bring that up real
Yes,
quick and give a
yes,
shout out to
that's Mazen.
Mazen today, a lead tailor originally from Syria, and been with you guys now for over
7
7
years.
years. And now I'm gonna I'm gonna call you out on an honesty moment here, just for
Okay.
a moment. See if you can. Now, not everyone who is really good at a skill is good at teaching a skill, and you've got some great
Hmm.
tailors in your building. Is Mazen a tailor teacher type guy, or is kind of a tailor just follow my example kind of a guy?
He is not a teacher type guy. He is a follow my example type guy, but we
Yeah,
are blessed that we have tailors, we have multiple tailors and like Noi, she's one of our amazing tailors. She's been with us for 4 years. She is a gifted teacher.
cool.
Siaka also is, he really loves to teach. He's more of the guidance, but he's really elevated the sewing ability of our newer sewist. And I was actually talking to one of our other seamstresses. Her name is Adriana. She studied fashion and design in Mexico. She only speaks Spanish, but she's has been a gift because when we have Spanish speaking like seamstresses come, she can also teach them and she loves doing it. And she's like, I just want to teach. I just want to teach my craft. I want
Oh,
to
nice.
share. And it's really a team effort. And we're so lucky to have the people that we do.
How many are now working for you in doing the tailoring there?
So right now we're 16 strong and we growing every day. We're actively hiring, especially right now with prom season coming up. You have a picture for the prom.
Yeah,
We're trying to hire more stylists and receptionists for the front. We do have a special for prom. Those of you who are interested, anybody who brings in their dress before February 15th for alterations will get a $50 discount. And if they bring it in before March 15th, they'll get a $35 discount, because people wait until the end and then it's a mad dash with all the dresses. Let's try to space it out for everybody.
You kind of glossed over something that I want to rewind and go back to real quickly. Tom, did you catch that she just said she has 16 tailors working for her?
I did.
Right, that alone right there has probably boggled some people's brains, because anyone who's ever gone to a tailor back in the day, I mean, it's been a long time since I've needed like a suit tailored, back when I used to have to wear a suit every, I don't know, 3 or 4 months for something special. And when I took my suit to get tailored, you usually met a guy and his assistant, or a gal and her assistant, and maybe an admin person. There was like 3, maybe 4 people working in the actual shop itself.
Mm-hmm.
She has 16 tailors working in her business right here in Rockford. And the other thing that I just saw, and you can clarify and confirm this, Sarene,
Mm-hmm.
you just recently crossed had your 10,000th order online. Is that what I saw right?
Yes, in October. I didn't even notice. October 28th. Shopify sent, I guess you saw it,
Yeah,
the I don't even know what to call it, the plaque or something, or I
something
don't know,
special.
something. I was like, wait a minute. And it was one of those moments where you're like, oh wow. Like, I totally did not realize that we had.
10,000 orders through Shopify.
Yes. So yeah, that's just a little, I'll give you a little hint there. We use 2 POSs. We use Shopify and Square. So we hit
Yeah,
that 10,000 mark a long time ago.
exactly my point. Exactly what I was hoping you'd say.
So one of the interesting things that people also don't know about Tadmor is we do business to business alterations. So we work with businesses in the area, the Chicago area and Wisconsin, and we alter the clothes for them, like dry cleaners. We work with Hard Rock. We worked with Chick-fil-A. The city of Rockford. We provide alterations for these different organizations. Whether, like, I love a project that we did with Chick-fil-A at the beginning of the season. They, how they have the kids who stand out in the drive-through in those uniforms, but they're waterproof and they're very expensive to keep the kids warm.
Yeah.
But after a season of use, there was a lot of wear and tear. So instead of throwing them away and buying something new, they brought them to us and we repaired all of them. So, we try to work with businesses and providing those services. One time, a stable in DeKalb sent us horse blankets. It's like, we get the craziest things. I didn't even know that was a thing. And then all of a sudden, we're here repairing it. So we really, people think alterations are just for clothes or just for people. It's for animals and we've repaired boat buoy covers and sails, and it's just really, really cool, the different things that you can think of. And I hope people will start thinking of, instead of, oh, I'm going to throw away this duvet, let me fix the hole in the duvet instead. And that's the more sustainable and eco and like money conscious thing you can do.
There are fabrics that seem way too crazy strong to poke a needle through, and apparently you have that capability if you're repairing buoy covers and horse blankets. Does that take a machine that fills an entire room? How big of a machine do you have to work on something like that?
No, but they're industrial sewing machines.
Yeah.
So like your regular home machine usually will have a hard time with jeans. We have industrial sewing machines, so we can do leather, fur. We've been able to fix some purses, we can get pretty thick.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I was at the Goodwill, Salvation Army, one of the two, Salvation Army yesterday. And as you can tell, I like stuffed animals. I was looking at a stuffed animal and it said made entirely with plastic bottle, recycled plastic bottles. I thought that was so cool and so creative. Made entirely with plastic bottles. It's amazing what you can do. And you know what? People don't know what you're talking about. People just don't know. Hopefully, maybe this is a way of getting the message out, not just for your business, but for saving the earth. At least doing our part. We can't all singly save the earth, but we can, collectively, we can do our part.
Definitely. And that's what my TED Talk is about. So I would
Okay.
highly recommend. It's called How to Save the World with a Pair of Jeans, because we did the research and we found that if every American bought one less pair of jeans, it would be like keeping 2.4 million cars off of the road for an entire year.
Well,
So,
I'm doing my part. I wear
Wow.
shorts every day.
and people don't realize, like, you really, if all of us just did a little bit, we would make a huge impact. And I love to think about, even, I know it was a dark time in our history and it was COVID when the world kind of shut down, but within a few days, the world healed itself. To me, watching that was astonishing, and it gave me hope that we can make a difference. And if we just do a little bit, we don't have to close down the world again. But if
Yeah.
we start reusing the clothes that we have, if we start trying to walk or bike instead of riding our car when possible, if we, use reusable like bottles instead of plastic bottles, it will make a difference. It will change the world.
Yeah. Yeah. Even the stories now that are coming out of Chernobyl. I mean, a plot of land that they thought would never, ever, ever, ever be inhabitable by living things again has regrown in such ways that people are astounded by. And that was a quote unquote nuclear disaster. So the world is a healing place. The world is a body just like a human body, and it does tend to heal itself. Gosh, there are so many bunny trails we could run down right now, Sarene.
Yes.
But before we do any bunny trail running, let's make sure what we do tell people a little bit about the story about your TED Talk, how that became a thing, how that became something that you were able to do.
So I really have to give a lot of credit to Renee McGinley. She is like, she helps, she's my virtual assistant. She lives in Rockford, but she really nailed it with like helping me apply to all the different places, following up, because it's not easy. We applied to 150 different TED Talks before I think I got 10 interviews, and then I got offered 4 talks and I accepted one.
Because they do those regionally, right?
They
TED
can do
Talks
them
are
in
done.
the city. They can do them at a school. My next goal, don't hold me to this, but I would love to be able to have a TEDx Rockford. And
Absolutely.
yeah,
Put that out there into the ethos right now. We have the talent in Rockford, Illinois to host a TEDx event.
we
Absolutely.
do. So, hey, Greg, how are we going to make this a reality? Let's do it. Let's do it.
Well, as we keep speaking it and keep I also have one of those big, hairy, audacious goals for In Crowd 815. And I don't know if I've told you about it yet, but we will talk about it at your event. Sarene is hosting our next In Crowd 815 networking group event the last Thursday of this month here in February. So looking forward to having people see your business and what you've done there, because it's absolutely amazing. And share your story. And at that event, we can maybe talk a little bit too about where I'm hoping to go with this group and events that we host.
Oh, that's so exciting. I can't wait to hear it.
Oh, yes. And I've already, honestly, I've already put it out there a couple of different times, and I talked about it at our event this last week. And we were up at the Empower cohabiting workspace in the Supply Corps building on Thursday night. And I did kind of talk about it a little bit there. We've done an event called the Mass Karaoke Trivia Contest back in October. And I needed proof of concept. I needed to know that it was actually going to work and people are going to enjoy themselves and want to do it again. And it went so well that we're doing it again April 17th of this year. And I haven't ruled out doing it a second time this year. We might do it again in the fall. But the big, we call them BHAGs, BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goals, scary goal. The big goal for this event is to have it at the largest venue in Rockford, the Coronado Theater or the Hard Rock performing area, so that we can have enough people in attendance in the audience that we can. I want to someday hand a $10,000 check to the winning team of that contest. The winner in October got $1,000. The winner in April should be getting $2,000. And if I can keep doubling this every time we do the event, we should only be a few years away from having that happen. So that's my big
Oh
goal
my
for
goodness.
this
I love
event.
it. You can do it. I'm sure you can.
I'm excited, and I'm talking about it with some people this last week. It was brought basically to my attention that I might be still thinking too small. Like, that's
I
great.
love it.
That-
Who are those people? I need to meet them. I want people to tell me I'm thinking too small. I need those people in my life.
It was the room. It was the room that I was in, and the influence that I got. That I was like, I might be thinking too small. This is probably, the $10,000 grand prize maybe should be $100,000 someday. Maybe that's where it's going someday. But
How about a million?
how about $1 million? How about $1 million?
Wow.
That make it a nationwide event. Who knows? An international event.
I'm going to start
Yeah.
burning up on my karaoke skills. Oh, wait, I'm the trivia guy. I can't.
Well, I'm scrolling through all these videos and pictures here while we're talking, because I was hoping to find the video of something I wanted to show to Sarene so that she can make a quick connection. My daughter's dress for her wedding was done at your place, and I'm having trouble finding the video of the reveal that she did for my wife. My daughter is there on the right. Mariah and her lovely bride, Becca, got married in the fall out at Barnstormers. We had a wonderful ceremony out at Barnstormers. Then we had a big party at the Union in Rockford back in August to celebrate them. And we had a great time with that. And the dress that she wore was the dress that my wife wore at our wedding now almost 30 years ago. And that dress was something that she had inherited and had it altered as well. So what you guys were able to do with the dress was absolutely fantastic. So thank you. I wanted to publicly thank you for that.
Oh, no, thank you. And she came with such a wonderful vision, and she was so open to like, let's try this and let's try this. It was amazing to work with Mariah, and like the dress was it was a lot of fun. We love doing those. We also I kind of went past it. There was Michael, who we did the wedding suit for him.
Yeah.
Right now we're working on another reconstruction. A bride brought in her mom's wedding dress, and we're redoing that. And they're so much fun, and we love when people think about, okay, let's reuse what we already have. We have more and more brides thinking like that. Another thing I'd like to put out there is for brides who, even if they do buy their dress new, they can get on our social media and check it out. We have videos of brides where we have taken the dress apart. So like we made it into a skirt and then a top or a crop top or something, so that she can continue to wear that dress. They pay thousands of dollars for their dresses. And then they wear them once and they put them in, in the basement. But don't do that. Bring it to Tadmore and let's redesign it, and you can continue to love that dress.
That might be like the most the part of it that excites me the most, is that you see these clothes that you potentially wear just once.
Yes.
And okay, that's fine. If it turns out that you have a daughter that wants to wear it when she gets married too, that's sure, that becomes a possibility, and maybe that's a family tradition or something like that. I get that. But if it's not, why not turn it into a vest or something else that can actually be worn on more than once?
Yeah, we had a woman bring in her dress. It was a grandmother, and she wanted to make it into a christening gown. Is that the correct word for it? And I was like, that's such a unique idea, and it's so beautiful that their baby is now wearing part of their wedding. Like that is like, I was like, I loved that thought there. And people, the ideas that they come with, the things that they, dreamed up with that we can do and reuse, it's really fun to see all that creativity and see all those juices flowing. And we love those fun projects.
Well, I'm going to put in the chat here the link to your website so people can get right to it with one click and make it very, very easy for them to find you, and tmtailor.com. There you go. Pin your clothes, ship with ease, look good. All the directions are all there on the website to make it easy for you. No matter where you are in the country and the world, you can ship things to Tadmore Tailoring, and they can take care of it for you. I don't know if this is a fair question or not, but do you have a rough idea of the percentage of clothes that you have to do a second time? Is there a rough idea? You know, so you send something out and it was close, but not quite, and they have to send it back to do something, other touch-ups. Does that happen?
Very
One,
seldomly,
yeah.
very seldomly. Yeah, because especially with the shipping, um, they usually will measure like the inseam from a pair of pants that they have that fits perfectly, and then we
Mm.
just use the same number. Yeah, I don't know, maybe 2%.
I was going to say, on occasion, there has to be a user error occasionally, because we're human. I mean, we make
Yeah,
mistakes,
yeah.
right?
Oh
Uh,
no, it happens, but it's just not often.
yeah, yeah. Well, there's a good point. If you got a pair of pants that fits you perfectly, you can measure those and
Yes.
make that a part of the instructions on that. Before we get to Tom's trivia and let you go about your weekend and the rest of your day, um, you are hosting our In Crowd 815 networking group,
Yes.
and I'll put the link in the chat about that here in just a little
Yes.
bit as well. When people come to Tadmore Tailoring the last Thursday of February, can you give us a little sneak peek or a little hint of what people might experience when they come and visit your store and spend a couple hours with you?
Yeah, we're gonna have some locally made snacks available and hors d'oeuvres for everybody. We're gonna have some of our upcycled things for people to look at, like wedding dresses. We also have cards that we make out of fabric that, it's from the alterations instead of throwing it away. We're going to be talking about that. We'll be discussing the Tadmore Sustainability Institute and what that is. That'll be our nonprofit that we're going to be talking about. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We have some freebies available for people. So yeah, I don't want to give it away, everything
No,
away,
no.
because we want everybody to come and be surprised. But yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun.
So the Tadmore Sustainability Institute is your
Yes.
not-for-profit, and is there is there a link on here to that?
No, that's a good idea. I probably should put one
Okay,
there.
you need to put a link there. Is that something that you seek donations to do certain things? Is there something about that that people can either volunteer with or donate to and see some results from?
Definitely, definitely. The Tadmore Sustainability Institute was born from the things that we learned at Tadmore. And there are two main goals from the Tadmore Sustainability Institute. The first goal is to train tailors, because tailoring is a dying art.
Hmm.
So we've created the curriculum, we had it certified by the Department of Labor, and now people who come and train through Tadmore and the Tadmore Sustainability Institute will graduate with a certificate from the Department of Labor that they are a certified industrial sewing machine operator. Just like an electrician or a plumber, they have that certification. They can get that from the Department of Labor. And it's awesome because no matter where you go in the United States, everybody knows the Department of Labor. So that's one part. The other part of the Tadmore Sustainability Institute is we want to teach people how to re-envision sustainability. Our dream is to put together classes where we're using old jars and fabric and plants and creating and imagining new ways to reuse what is already on the earth. Our goal is to change the way that people think about things, instead of going to disposal to how can I make this beautiful? How can I reuse this in my life? And we want to have those classes available to the public, to kids, so we start getting those creative juices. And we've had a few of them. We've tested them, and people absolutely love them. They're a relaxing atmosphere. We have a teacher, and it's just, you sit there and it's just like, oh, you're creating, it's, I don't know, just the whole, so relaxing just to be
Yeah.
able to let your brain go and follow and just end up with something beautiful at the end. So that's a gift that we're trying to be able to give to the community at the Tadmore Sustainability Institute. So yes, if there are donation possibilities available, and it would go toward creating those classes for Rockford.
You're not wrong there. We need plumbers. We need electricians. We need
Yes.
tailors. We need these hands-on, skilled individuals to continue to do these things. Because I think we're going to need clothes for a long, long time.
I think we will too. I think we will too. And you know, as we start investing in the higher quality clothes, it makes more sense. Let's repair them.
Yeah.
Let's reuse them. Let's make them fit me so that I'm comfortable and I can go out and make more money because, you know, I'm radiating confidence and comfort. So, you know, it all ties together. So
Nice. Nice. All right. Well, is there anything before we get again to Tom's stuff? Is there anything we did not ask you about this morning that you wanted to
yes.
make sure that we touch on?
Yes, Restyle the Runway is coming back on March 8th. So that is an event it's a fundraiser for the women's space, and also we're supported by the Rockford University, and we have lots of people, Goodwill. So Goodwill donated gift cards to our models who are from the Rockford community, and they picked out their outfits, they brought it to Tadmor, we altered it, and there's going to be a fashion show on March 8th where we can go and see how people can buy things from the thrift store. All of these outfits were less than $30.
Hey,
so how
yeah.
people can look like runway ready with less than $30, and it's just going to be so much fun. It was a blast last year, so we're so excited. Yeah, there's a video about it
There's
from
your
last
video.
year.
Yeah.
Yep.
You had
So
a handful of models for that day, and
yes.
I got a feeling that's going to grow and grow every year too.
Yes, it will. It will. And it was just so much fun. Like that with that one, that the lace top that just went by, that was her wedding dress. It
Yeah.
was a 25-year-old dress, and we converted it into a nice top for her. So it's just so much fun, the different things that we can do. And Restyle the Runway is meant for a fundraiser for Women's Space, which is a crucial organization for Rockford and women in Rockford. And it's just, you know, a morning to go have fun, have good food, and check out what you can do with $30, how you can look and feel great.
Absolutely. We've had Women's Space on the show a couple different times, and they do a wonderful service there too. So check that out.
Yeah.
March 8th. We've got the link again in the chat so you can find that.
There's another fashion show that we have going on, and it's going to called Green Threads, and it's a partnership with Severus and Dells. Right now, if people are interested, designers will take fabric scraps from Tadmor and then design their own clothes. And then they're going to be showcasing that. So that one is April 9th. And right now the application is open for anybody, any designer who's interested. So we got a lot of fun things coming up this year.
You're a busy lady.
Yes, we are. That's why we like to keep it.
Yeah, sure.
And you said it's called Green what?
Green
Threads.
Sustainable fashion show.
Green Threads. Okay. All right. I am
It's a
going
great
to
name too.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into some trivia. I'm going to see if I can get this. So I got something I'm trying to prepare for you before you leave the screen. But Tom, let's go ahead and jump into some trivia here while we got Sarene, and see if we can score a few points against 5 or 6 questions of Tom's trivia this morning.
All right.
Ooh,
fair game for both of you. You're competing as a team. So no one, it's not like, oh, you get one, you get none. It's you're competing as a team. So here we go. First question. World capitals. What is the capital of Peru?
I mean, if it's not Lima, what other city is in Peru that's big?
What other bean would it be? It's
What other bean?
Lima or Lima,
Peru.
if you prefer.
All right.
Very good. Now here's one that Sarene, I don't know if you have any kids or if you saw any of the Veggie Tales shows, but this is a Veggie Tales question.
Yeah,
No? All right. Well, anyway, here we go. In the Veggie Tales children's video, who asks the question, where is my hairbrush? Greg, I know you're going to know this one.
The carrot?
Let's
carrot.
see.
Oh, and you know what?
That's a good guess.
Do you need options, Greg?
Well, you have Larry the cucumber.
Okay.
and Bob the tomato and Junior asparagus. But Larry the cucumber is the one that usually sang the goofy, silly songs. So it's got to be Larry.
Larry the cucumber is correct.
Right.
All right. All right. All right. All right. Now let me get to. Oh, okay. Here's one. Here's a Christmas one. I did a NAMI trivia event, and it was chasing the winter blues away. So I grabbed a question off of that. So this is a winter question. In the Christmas song "Frosty the Snowman," what item gives Frosty his ability to come to life? Greg, give Sarene a chance to answer. If she can't, then you can answer.
His hat?
Yes. Yes.
That old silk hat he found.
The old silk hat. Yeah, look at you. Look at you. I figure that's a fabric question, right? All right, here we go. One more from the winter file. Germany began the tradition of hiding this food item among the ornaments inside the Christmas tree. And the one who found this particular item would win a free gift. What was the item?
All right, say that one more time.
All right, Germany began the tradition of hiding this food item among the ornaments inside the Christmas tree. Whoever found that item would win a gift.
So my first thought would be the candy cane, because they put a hook on the candy cane and you can hang it somewhere. But I don't think it was a candy cane. I think it was something like a cupcake. I don't know what they called it though. So
any guesses, Sarene?
A walnut?
A walnut? No, that's a good guess too. If you go back to the second question we had, it might give you a little bit of a hint. But where is my hairbrush?
They hid the cucumber.
No, they didn't hide the cucumber. They hid what the cucumber became. Pickle.
Oh, they hide a pickle in the tree?
Hide a pickle in the tree. Yep.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. All right, here we go. We got it's essentially a periodic table question. So put on your science cap. How many elements in the periodic table begin with the letter Z? Z as in zebra. I'm actually going to give you a 50-50 shot on this. Is it 2 or is it 3?
Yeah, I was going to say there's not many.
Once again, how many elements in the
Can I
periodic table?
consult Google?
No, you cannot. That's somewhat of a problem sometimes at trivia, as people and you can always tell because they get their phone like down here. They're like they're looking at their phone. Like,
my hands are up.
Yeah.
I feel like going with 2. I don't know, Sarene, you want to go with 2?
I think 2.
Let's go with 2.
Okay, there is zinc, there's zirconium, and nothing else. 2.
We did it. Woo.
Nice job. So far, I think you've only gotten one wrong. You're very good.
Zinc and zirconium. All right.
Okay. All right. I don't know how many we've done. Who cares? I think we've done 3 or 4.
A couple more.
We've done 4. All right. That one's done. Okay. All right. This one is very interesting, and it's probably a no-brainer, but let's see. What 3-word catchphrase is on voice actor Mel Blanc's gravestone? Mel Blanc, of course, was the voice of a lot of Bugs Bunny, all of the Looney Tunes characters. He also played Barney Rubble. He voiced Barney Rubble. It's got to be Yabba Dabba Doo.
No. You know what it is, Sarene?
What's up, Doc?
No, you're close. He was, I believe, also the voice of Porky Pig, and at the end of most of the cartoons, he said, "But that's all, folks."
That's all, folks. Yep, that's all, folks.
That's on his. That
almost sounds disrespectful. Like, that's all, folks. See you, Mel. Let's go have some beer. I mean,
his choice.
All right. Oh, you know what? I got a couple more here. We got just two more, and we may have.
And I got something special for Sarene before we send her on her way. She's gonna smile at this. You're gonna love this.
All right. Okay. Well, this is another. It's another fabric material one. I shouldn't say that. I'm actually okay. Name the cosmetics/fashion company that used the following slogan in the 1980s: "Between love and madness lies obsession."
Between love and madness lies and this was a clothing company?
It was a clothing company. Well, there was a fashion company because I believe they probably dabbled in perfume as well. But this was the clothing part of it. So once again, cosmetics fashion company that used the following slogan in the 1980s: between love and madness lies obsession.
Ah, my goodness. I have no
I'm
idea.
I'm too young to know that one.
Who made the Obsession perfume? Jordache?
No.
What
Ralph
over my
Lauren,
head.
maybe?
All right.
Ralph Lauren. There we go. That's a good guess.
Okay, that's not it. I'm going to give you one quick hint. This particular brand made an appearance in Back to the Future.
Members only.
No.
Hugo Boss.
No. When Marty got hit by the car and he was recovering in
Calvin Klein.
Calvin Klein. There you go.
Calvin Klein.
There you go. All right.
Hey, that's
The
right.
final question. I had two of them. I'm going to go with one of them here. Final question. Here we go. For all the bananas. All right. J.M. Barrie, Barrie, is best known for creating this literary character. J.M. Barrie.
J.M. Barrie made a literary character.
Yep, wrote a book. It was a book, and it was a movie. I don't know if it was a Disney movie. It might have been, because I don't know if this was part of the Disney franchise. But it was a kids' animated movie. You know, like The Little Mermaid, like Beauty and the Beast, all that.
Huh. I have, like what? Hunchback of Notre Dame? I don't know.
No, I am going to give you a hint. The name of the girl who was the like the second character, I guess, was the first time that name was ever used. It was created for that.
It's Peter Pan.
It's Peter Pan. Wendy was the name of the girl.
Peter
Wendy.
Pan. What was his name again?
J.M. Barrie, and I think J.M. Barrie was female. I think a woman. I think. I'm not sure, but anyway, there you go. That is it. You guys did quite well. Those were some.
We needed hints.
Yeah, there were some somewhat obscure questions. Now, here's the thing. Sarene, you spent a lot of time in a different culture. You missed out on a lot of that stuff, so it was kind of unfair for you. So you get a free pass on all of that, but you still got some. You still got some that were very good. Greg, as usual, you did a decent job. So.
Well, there's a good question to ask, I guess. If growing up in Syria in your teenage years, especially, what was the what was recreational? What did you go to movies? Was there certain sports that all the kids kind of played? What was the culture like in Syria as a teenager? What was your time away from school and family and fun stuff?
Syria would have basketball and soccer, if I'm not mistaken, right? As you're probably two top. Soccer, definitely, but Syria always seems to have a pretty good basketball team, like in the Olympics or something like that. Am I wrong on that or not?
I don't think that their basketball team would get to the Olympics.
Okay, all right, but soccer definitely.
Yeah, soccer. Yeah, it's a big cultural sport. Music, going to the movies, fun girl parties, stuff like that.
What about TV shows? What kind of TV shows did you have?
Well, they have the sitcoms too, just like they would here. There's the comedies and the dramas and the soap operas, and same thing, but instead of English, Arabic.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
A lot of bad lip reading going on. Is that?
No, they would. It would literally they would make their own. But like more cultural context, but. Watching American movies is always like the big thing, like whatever the American movie out was.
Okay, so I'm guessing you speak fluent Arabic. Okay, obviously, and your English is impeccable. It is absolutely impeccable.
Oh, thank you.
I heard your tone. I heard some words that are spot on. A lot of people, they have good English skills. They come from another country, and they're a little bit choppy.
She grew up in Maryland. She grew up in Maryland for the first part of her life. So.
Exactly. So that's an absolute double bonus. So would you have the ability on your TV to get out of that and watch it in American? Just, I mean, not that you would want to, but at least then everything lines up. The voice lines up with the sound.
Yeah, can you ask the question? So would I be able to watch like in
Would you
Arabic
be
and
able to
understand?
watch it in the English version while you were in Syria, or would you have to stay with the Syrian version? If you
Oh
wanted to,
no,
if you
no,
just
no, no,
wanted,
no. My English in Syria was just as well as I used to teach English when I was there. So
okay,
like
what
because
I
I
mean is, what I meant was, would you be able to watch the TV using the English from the English version, or would you be uh, only able to watch it in the Syrian version? Having nothing to do with whether you
oh
prefer this one or that one. What if you just wanted to watch it in its original English version so you didn't have to fight through the bad lip reading?
yes, you
Kind of
could.
an
Yes.
obscure question.
Yeah, yes, you can they, it was still at the time where they had videotape, so you could find it videotaped somewhere
Okay,
and
I'm
be
just
able to watch
curious.
it. Yeah.
There we go. There we go. All right, let's send you off with this. This is the video of the dress
Oh, yay! You
that you
found
all
it.
altered, and my wife got me the link here so I could find this awesome video and the great reveal that you did for her.
I thought it was such a beautiful tribute to her mother.
The music is really, really loud. Yeah, she wanted to take her mom's wedding dress and totally upcycled it to make it something absolutely stunningly beautiful for her, personal to her, and yet still something that mom could be appreciative of. So
Yeah,
what a
I thought it
wonderful,
was a beautiful, beautiful tribute to her mother. I thought
very
that was so
wonderfully done.
touching.
Thank you so much for doing that. Thanks for all that you're doing and spreading the good word about Rockford and all of your business things, because you're traveling the country. Where are you today? Are you even in Rockford today?
I'm in Florida today.
You're in Florida today.
You're in
Okay.
Florida. Oh,
They got all our snow this
oh.
year, so
I should have ramped up the
Yeah.
questions. I'm mad now. What's the weather like? Don't tell me. I don't want to know. What is
Yeah,
it?
I know. You don't want to know.
No, what is it? Go ahead.
It's yesterday the high was in the 80s.
Oh
I mean,
God.
like so
I hope
perfect
it
weather.
rains all day on
No.
you.
Aw.
I'm
Uh,
kidding. I'm kidding. How to save the world with a pair of jeans. That's
Yes.
correct, right? I
So
am
look that
definitely
up.
going to check it out. I've never seen a TED Talk before. So how
Oh,
do I do it?
Yeah,
get
just
on
search TED.
YouTube and just put how TEDx or TED Talk, how to save the world with a pair of jeans, and it'll pop right up.
I will do that. I will
Yeah,
do that.
yeah,
It
very well
sounds
done.
very, very interesting.
Thank
All
you.
right, Sarene. Well, thank you so much. We look forward to your in-crowd event the last Thursday of February. And of course, with the link to the thing in March, the event in March is also in the chat, so people can find that very, very easily. So thanks again
Well,
for
thank
coming
you.
on.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
All right, have
Have
a
a
great
great
rest of
day.
your day.
Enjoy Florida.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye bye.
Oh,
Oh,
man,
what
that
a,
was
what a great
awesome.
guest. Oh, she's an absolute joy.
That was
That,
so good.
yeah, that was so good.
We are looking forward to her event again coming up at the last Thursday of February, which I think is the 27th, if I remember correctly.
It is the 27th, and unfortunately, I won't be able to go because I've got my own trivia event. I've got my my
Yes.
NAMI event.
And I did want to bring that up real quick because in Crowd 815 is encouraging all of our members, all of our networking group members to obviously come to Tadmore Tailoring the last Thursday of February. And then the last Thursday of March, NAMI is doing a trivia event at Park Lanes again.
The third in the series.
Yeah. So if you want to put together a team, your team could be one person. It could be up to 6 people, right?
Well, Danielle cut it off at 6 this time. She didn't want to overcrowd the room. She didn't want to
Right.
inundate people because we were doing 3. So it's up to Danielle, but probably 6. Yeah.
So yeah, you
I
can
don't think
play
you're
yourself if
going
you
to
want to.
complain if you had 7. You know.
Okay. So 2 or 3, 4 or 5 or 6 people on your team, you get together, and I got to find the link for that information about that. I got to dig up my my NAMI information and put that in the chat too. So Wow, that conversation, I should have known it was going to fill up the whole hour because we had a lot we could have talked about. We could have kept talking for another hour or two. There was
Mhm.
so much information, so much interesting stuff going on with Sarene and her business and her life that we definitely could have kept going with that. But before I forget, I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the chat to the NAMI Facebook page. That way, at least you can follow NAMI. Make sure you're following NAMI on Facebook and get information about their next events when they get that posted on there. And in crowd networking group, the link to our next where's my copy link, get that in the chat as well. Before we do our big number of the week, I do want to share one more special thing today, Tom, and that is a tribute to Becky Nelson. For those who went to Christian Life Schools, Becky Nelson was a teacher there for many, many years. And some knew and some didn't really know, but most of us who knew Becky knew she was a volunteer superhero for the Phantom Regiment for years. In fact, she's in the Phantom Regiment Hall of Fame because she was a volunteer for over 40 years. She covered 5 different decades as a volunteer with the Phantom Regiment. And Becky just passed away, and her funeral is actually today. I'm going to put this link in the chat too, to the tribute that Phantom Regiment wrote up about Becky Nelson when she first became involved in the Phantom Regiment back in 1981. And her volunteer there spanned nearly 45 years. She was basically the lead cook. And her dad, Dave, designed like the first big food truck, the big food trailer that traveled with the team all over the country as they competed. If you've ever been to the Show of Shows, the Phantom Regiment Show of Shows, which happens every July, first week of July here in Rockford, you've seen all these teams come from across the Midwest and different parts of the country come and compete in DCI, the Drum Corps International competitions. They travel all summer long, competing all over the country, and then they do the big championships in Indianapolis every year. This summer's going to be the first time that Phantom Regiment does their Show of Shows at Guilford High School at Swanson Stadium. They're not going to be at Boylan this year for the first time in forever. So, but Becky and her dad basically designed the food trailer that they used for, I don't know, 30 some years before they had to redo it again. And then they designed another one. The tribute that Phantom Regiment wrote up about Becky is definitely worth a read. It's wonderfully done. And wanted to acknowledge that today and obviously give our hearts and prayers to her family as they mourn her passing and this season of grief for them as they had to let Becky go. So that is today. I want to thank real quick Empower for hosting our in-crowd event this last Thursday night. Empower in the Supply Corps building. We had a great time of speed networking, which went really well. We had about 32 total people there, 29 guests at Empower for our speed networking, first ever speed networking event that we've ever done for in-crowd. And it was a good time. Everyone had a chance to meet with just about everybody else the way it ended up being designed. So kudos to those folks for having great space up there for that to happen. If you need a workspace, a cubicle, an office, a conference room, they rent those out by the hour, by the day, by the week, by the month, whatever you might need. So check out Empower and look into that if it's something that could help you and your business. And you might have seen at the beginning of the show as we were launching today, for all things InCrowd 815, go to incrowd815.com. Our merch, our podcast, our events, all up on our webpage. And thank you, Fresh Prince of Love's Park.
Leave it up there for just a second.
But let's see if Tom can try the QR code for us and make sure that works.
I'm into the new millennium now. Oh yeah, I gotcha.
Turn the
looky.
camera on. Get the link.
You can't see it, but I
There
got
we
it.
go.
I got it.
All right, there we go. If nothing else, get a T-shirt or a hat. Get a new hat, get a T-shirt.
You don't like my hat? What's wrong with my hat? Come on.
I like your hat. There's no G in crowd.
In crowd.
But in this show that there definitely is.
Yeah.
All right. Before we do our big number of the week, is there anything else we want to touch base on, Tom?
I don't know. Yeah, well, there's a million things, but we don't really have a whole lot of time. I just wanted to say my NAMI event went well. It was a smaller crowd than we normally have because, as I said, Danielle wanted to scale it back a little bit because we're doing a series of 3. So the next one is the end of February. The one after that is the end of March, and that's the one we're encouraging all of our viewers to go to.
Yes.
To support NAMI. It's a very, very good cause. Let me just say one thing. You can go online and you can get the information that NAMI provides. So you can read up on it. It's so important. And I'll just give you a 30-second story of my life. I see you looking at the clock. I know we got to go. You got busy. You're a busy man. So am I. I got a trivia event tomorrow. I've got sitcoms through the decades.
Ooh,
you are
boy.
cordially invited. If you want to go, contact me later and I'll give you all the details. But anyway, and it's a by invite only, and I got only a certain amount of people. But it's a fundraiser for a friend of mine whose son was in a really bad accident. So the NAMI thing. My story is very simple. I grew up in a less than stellar home, youngest of 4, very loud, very aggressive, very, very emotionally disturbing. My brother was a big part of that, 4 years older than me. He found God probably 10 years before he died, so he became a decent human being. He really did, and he is now in heaven, thank God. So, but NAMI, it wasn't NAMI because NAMI didn't exist when he needed help, but it was a lot of different organizations that helped, that he found, my mom and dad found help for him. So if you're in a situation and you're struggling, you've got a son, a daughter, a brother, a cousin, an uncle, a dad, a mom who needs mental help, it's not the stigma that it used to be. It's not. No. Get the help that you need and move on to the next phase of your life, which is a good, sound existence. And because NAMI says this in their thing, it doesn't just affect you, it affects everybody around you. The spider web effect of mental illness is huge. And oftentimes it's taken a foothold before we even know it. So that's all I was going to say about that. That was the crux of the whole night. Plus a lot of good, fun trivia, and we had a good time.
Reach out. It's the stigma is a lot less than it used to be, and there's great. Thankfully, there's a lot of different services, and even here in Rockford, there's different, shall I say, niches of services. So you can find the one that works best for you. There's more than one to choose from, so it's great to have the services that we have available here. All right, let's do this. I clicked the wrong button. I need this button right here. And our race to 10 has a score of 8-2. The big number of the week this week, 150 billion with a B. The answer is movements or mobile games. Movements or mobile games. What does 150 billion have to do with either one of those things? Tom has texted me his answer at the beginning of the show. And 32,000 is the number of bees that entomologists glued QR codes on to track their life cycles and movements. This is really interesting. Researchers used this shellac glue to attach little paper QR codes on these bees. How crazy must that have been? They had a scanner that was above the beehive. So each time the bee left and came back, the QR code was scanned, and they could say, hey, how often do these bees live and how much time do they spend outside the hive? The biggest surprise involved the bees' lifespans. Honeybees were thought to only live for about 28 days. Researchers tagged these bees, and they found that most of them lived for as long as 6 weeks. a process they don't start. They forage for about 6 weeks long, and they only start that when they're about 2 weeks old. They spend their first 2 weeks in the hive before they start flying out and foraging. So these bees were living about 2 months. Pretty awesome. So Tom, you're getting the point.
Woo!
Yes, you are. Mobile game revenue almost hit $81 billion last year. That's up 4% from the year before, according to Sensor Tower's annual State of Mobile report. The growth came despite mobile game downloads dipping 6% last year. Four games, none of them I've ever heard of before, were the biggest games last year. I bet you don't know these names either. Last War, Whiteout Survival, Dungeon and Fighter, and Brawl Stars.
Oh, nope.
Each of those games reached over $1 billion in total revenue last year. So the number of mobile games in the $1 billion club is now 11. If those numbers don't make your eye pop, here's one more. In 2024, iOS and Google Play in-app purchases hit $150 billion in total revenue. That's up 12.5% for 2023.
We're in the wrong business, buddy.
It's only $285,000 every minute.
Wow.
So what does that mean? In-app purchases, game purchases, people that are gaming that want to get special things in the game and they spend 99 cents to get the upgrade or spend $4.99 to whatever, extend the thing for another month. $285,000 every minute is being spent on those to the tune of $150 billion a year. That blows my brain.
You know what all this means?
We're in the wrong
I'm
business.
making my comeback.
Yeah,
8-3.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I'm
That's
going
right.
on an 8-game winning streak. I'm going to beat you 10-8.
That would be awesome. That if I could manipulate that, Tom, that would be fun. But
You could just send me a text and say, "Hey, just go with California next time." Okay,
get
good.
this one right. Just get this one right. I was telling my daughter this week. She was listening to I don't know if it was I think it was a podcast of a radio station that was doing one of those call in bits where I think they call it first date.
Okay.
So they have someone who says, I went on this, Tinder date with someone and then they never called me back. And I thought we hit it off and I thought we had such a good time. And I don't know why they didn't call me. And this was their name and this was their contact. So they contact them live, quote unquote, live on the air and kind of confront them and ask why the date didn't go so well. Why didn't they have a second date? And it's always, a goofy story.
Well, he lives in his mom's basement. He's 34, has a collection of action figures.
The he said, she said of all these stories is always hilarious. It's like, yeah, we thought we hit it off. No, I knew right away she wasn't the one. And I pretty much told her that, but she apparently didn't hear me say that. And she thought that, just because we had a good hug at the end of the night that we were going to have a second date. No. And I had to break it to my daughter. Most of these are acting. They're not real. These radio bits, the majority of them are quote unquote scripted.
Well, you and I coming from a radio background, the worst thing you can do is, well, on the line we got Bob, and Bob is our guest. So, Bob, will you tell us about yourself? Hi, I'm Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where'd you grow up? Cleveland.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, what high school did you go to? I didn't. I got a GED. I mean, it's just like, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Bob was the wrong guy for this interview. So you're not going to take a chance with precious radio airtime, TV time, and not know ahead of time what's going on. Not everything is scripted in radio and TV, but 99% of it is.
A whole lot of it is.
Oh, yeah.
All right, friends. That's going to wrap up our show for this week. And next week, we're going to talk with Miranda. She's with the Epilepsy Advocacy Network. And we're also going to have Julie on. I believe she's the executive director of the Rockford Symphony Orchestra. They got some cool stuff coming up this season. So the Epilepsy Advocacy Network and RSO, the Rockford Symphony Orchestra, next week here on the In Crowd 815 podcast. Until then, remember, you change the world when you help one person. Be a blessing to someone this week. We'll try to do the same and meet you back here for another In Crowd 815 podcast. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate you, buddy.
You too, buddy. Have a great day.
815 in crime. 815 in crime. 815